Hello, I'm Kellie Cadogan, vocal life coach, and welcome to the Down to Earth podcast. I am looking forward to sharing with you all that God has in store for you today.
You just got to believe. Look ahead and you will see a new beginning.
We've reached episode 6 and we are looking forward to sharing with you everything that is in store. We are still looking along the concept, the context of the topic belief. And today I want to give you a little bit of insight into things that I experienced within my own studio as a vocal life coach. And one of these things really is about the element of the power of being able to believe in that which you have to do. So, for example, a client will come into the studio, and this happens quite often where they have a specific skill or talent, or they're rediscovering where they are at in that particular season in their life. And what will happen is that they will come in and they will start to do the progress they're seeing, the improvements, etc. But then we will start to work on material which in most cases is outside of their comfort zones, and all of a sudden they're stuck. They think that they can't get to, let's say for example, working on improving or increasing their vocal range. They're thinking in their minds, I can't get there. And as a result of that, they're doing so well on all the other exercises, but the minute it starts to move outside of their comfort zone, that is where things start to get a little, feel as if it's going to be falling apart. But it's at that particular point where I encourage them, this is not the time for you to stop. This is the time for you to keep going. This is the time for you to stay committed. Where it feels as if it's falling apart, what is missing in that particular circumstance most times is that they are not believing that they can get it done. Because in particular instance, if we're talking about the increasing of the range, it is seeming to them as if this is so high. And as a result of that, is like, I don't think I can get there. So the don'ts and the can'ts falls into the category of doubt. Every single time we start to think of, I can't get this done. I doubt I'll be able to get this done. What starts to happen is that you're creating in your mind, that this is not possible for me to do. But if we start to shift that conversation with ourselves and we tell ourselves, no, I can get it done. It will sound shaky. It may not come over as beautiful as I think I would like or I envision that it will be able to. But if we start thinking positively from the perspective of being able to say, no, I can get it done. It may take me a little while to get it done, but I'm going to go for it, because within this particular process, it takes the application of it. And the first element of the application is just shifting the mindset, being able to know I can get it done. And that comes back down to what we're talking about as it relates to believing. We need to believe that when we are, especially the times where we have to step outside of our comfort zones, is that where you start to go like, I'm not too sure if this is for me or if I should continue doing this, because we are now taking ourselves out of where we can most times depend on what we know we can do. Now we have to be able to, sometimes we have to go reach out to other people for help. And in most cases, it's a time where we now be able to say, God, I need your help here. Even if it's outside or within your comfort zone, it's always good to be able to ask God to help you through, even though you think you might know what you're doing. So what I wanted to share with you or to encourage you to do is, if you are at that place where you're feeling like, you know what, I want to, just like how some of my clients will come into the studio, I want to get to this, but I don't want to go there. You kind of step back and you feel a little tentative. Go for it. This is not the time for us to pull back. This is a time for us to lean in. And I've said this before in previous podcasts where I would say things, share things with you as it relates to when things get difficult with relation to communication in our relationships, whichever environment that we are in. Most times we want to run away. Sometimes I want to run away as well too. But it's in that moment of where you understand, this is what is most important. It's a time where you need to press in. You need to run towards it. So whether or not it's the note that you're trying to achieve in the studio, or the note that you need to write, or the note that you need to leave, or the voice note that you also need to leave for somebody because you may have not been able to talk to them face to face, but you realize, what, it's better for me to communicate with this person by actually just leaving a voice note, right? it's important that we start to engage those elements of communication and run towards that which you may be feeling afraid of, where Jesus says, don't be afraid, just believe. And that brings us right back to which is our verse, which is Mark chapter 5 verse 36, when Jesus says, don't be afraid, just believe. So I hope that this encourages you and inspires you today to get up and get that thing done. You know what you're supposed to be doing, you know what you're called to do. And even if you are not sure, I want you to take some time to spend in quiet and just listen. Pray to God and ask Him to reveal to you, God, am I doing what you have purposed me on this earth to do? Take the time and spend the time with your Creator, because He loves you and He wants what's best for you. So it's been a pleasure being here with you, and I am looking forward to seeing you next time on Down to Earth.
As the day turns into night and you're by yourself and you feel like there's no other way than to hide, think that you have tried